We're all set. Can we get started, please?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, dedicated parents, friends, and passionate viewers, welcome to another webinar by Rockwoods. This is a platform of aspiration, determination, and excellence. As we embark on this journey together, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each one of you for joining us from various parts of the globe, united by a common goal to conquer NEET and pave the way for the brighter future ahead in the field of medicine. To our viewers across the social media platform like Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook, your presence amplifies our spirit, reminding us that we are not alone in this pursuit of excellence. Once again, welcome to another webinar conducted by Rockwoods. And this time it's all going to be about Q&As about NEET. Today's discussion is generally about solving all the doubts and questions that we have received from the past 3 days by students and parents. So to discuss about these questions and answer your doubts, joining us is Subramaniam Rangineni, CEO of Rockwoods, to shed some light about this exam. And I'm your host, Vedashree, a proud alumna of Rockwoods. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Vedashree. One more time, having on the NEET. I'm sure there are plenty of questions to answer today.
Yes, and I have to say that Q&A session is my favorite. It has to be. But to kick things off, I think we would like to start with basics. Starting with a question like, what is NEET and the eligibility criteria to appear in this exam?
Sure, Veda. Let me answer that question. Very good evening, everyone. Whoever is attending and through various platforms. Today we are taking plenty of questions exclusively on NEET examination. So to answer your question, what is NEET and who can attempt this examination? NEET stands for National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test. Children who wanted to become doctors, who wanted to pursue medical courses like MBBS, BDS, Ayush, BHMS, such kind of veterinary, any kind of undergraduation in medical related field, those students must take this exam at the end of their 12th. And in order to write this exam, children must have physics, chemistry, and biology as part of their subjects in their 11th and 12th. And NEET exam is not only conducted for undergrad program, NEET PG is also conducted, especially if children wanted to pursue post-graduation after their undergraduation medical courses. That would be in a nutshell what is NEET and who can attend this examination.
Okay. So, sir, can you also please elaborate about the subjects that are covered in this exam?
So NEET exam, you will have majorly 3 subjects: physics, chemistry, and biology. Biology again is divided into 2 parts: botany and zoology. So children need to prepare these subjects thoroughly in their 11th and 12th and take up the exam, NEET exam, and answer the questions from these subjects in order to qualify, in order to secure good marks to get into prestigious medical colleges.
Okay. I think as now that we have discussed about the subjects, can you also shed some light on the pattern of the question paper and the cutoff marks and and all that?
Sure, Veda. So as far as the question paper pattern is concerned, in physics and chemistry, children will have 50 each. In each subject, 50 questions. And for each subject, again, it is divided into two sections, Section A and Section B. And Section A, children will have 35 questions and they can attempt up to 35 questions. Again, I'm talking physics and chemistry, remember? And Section B, you will have 15 questions. Out of 15 questions, child can attempt any 10. So this goes with physics, and also same is the case with chemistry. Whereas for biology, children will have 100 questions, A and B together, and children can attempt up to 90 questions. So overall, in the question paper, there are going to be 200 questions. Children can attempt 180 questions. For every correct answer, child is going to be given 4 marks. Every wrong answer, there is going to be negative 1 mark. And if child is not attempting, obviously there is not going to be any score or any negative mark for that question. Meaning, NEET examination is going to be very, very clearly, kind of accuracy test. If a student is very clearly know the answer, we recommend them to attempt. If children are not very clear, out of 4 options, we recommend not to attempt such kind of questions. We ask children to attempt at least if there is a 50+ accuracy rate. If probability of out of any 4, if child is little doubtful out of any 2, then in that scenario, we recommend children to attempt. Otherwise, we recommend not to attempt. So out of 180 questions, if child does all of them correctly, it is going to be 720 is going to be maximum score. And 500 plus is considered to be very safe score to get medical seat in any kind of college. But if you're targeting AIMS kind of colleges, you need to score somewhere around 660 to 700 plus kind of score. This year, that score has even gone up because scoring has become a lot better this year. And if you wanted to get prestigious colleges in Telangana, Gandhi, Usmania, Kakatiya kind of colleges, and anywhere between 550 to 580 is considered to be very safe score. And these scores typically would vary based on the category the student would belong to. If you are belonging to BC or OC or SC, ST, obviously scoring slightly would change as per that category. And one final part of your question, you asked what is a qualifying score? That typically changes every year, and somewhere around 110 would be typically a qualifying score in order to take a seat in any medical colleges, or even outside of India, you must qualify NEET in order to pursue your medical courses even outside of India.
Thank you, sir. Now that we are done with basics question, I would like to introduce that we have 3 segments in this session. The first one is going to be more about basic questions that we have received from you guys, which will be answered by Subisa. So I think you've already answered this question, but I would still go ahead and ask you this question, is that what is the ideal score to get secure seat in AIMS? We actually got a lot of questions,
Sure.
same questions.
If some student wanted to get into AIMS kind of colleges, the score typically would vary because you have a lot of AIMS colleges across all over India. So if you're looking at AIMS Delhi, Rishikesh, various other, so we are talking of 700 plus kind of score. But any score above 670 is going to be considered to be safe to procure a seat in any of the AIMS colleges.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So the next question is, do we have any sets for these questions? Do we have different sets of question papers that we get in this exam?
Yes. So there are going to be 4 sets, and typically children who are surrounded you, and you are going to have different sets. That's how this exam is being conducted all along. So to minimize, especially malpractices, there is a sets A, B, C, and D. At times they also give different alphabets for each of the set. So definitely there are going to be sets as part of the examination.
Okay, thank you, sir. Our next question is NEET the only exam, or do we have any other exams for students in PCB?
That I would say is one of the very good question. Most of the parents, when their children are asking that, we wanted to opt for BPC, parents tend to give explanation to their children stating, what happens if you don't crack NEET exam, right? So, NEET is not the only exam children can think of attempting, after their 12th for BPC students. There are a good number of other examinations as well. So one very popular exam I can think of saying is a CUET, Central University Entrance Test, and across all over India, there are good central universities which children can get into. And the subjects as part of CUET also are going to have botany, physics, and chemistry, or certain other subjects which child wanted to pick as part of their undergraduation courses. And MSET is one more popular exam which in Telangana is recently renamed as an EPSET. And if you are looking at agricultural BSc kind of courses and pharmacy related kind of courses, you can think of taking up this exam as well. And NEST is one more very popular examination. And some children also think of going abroad after their 12th. And you can write SAT. There are cases without SAT exam. Also, you can pursue undergraduation courses abroad. So, and CLAT is something which you can think of writing. It is not mandatory that only certain groups which children have opted in their 11th and 12th only can attempt CLAT exam. BPC students definitely can opt that kind of exam. And IP MAT is one more very popular exam if they wanted to pursue BBA kind of courses in AIMS, in IAIMS kind of colleges. So overall, so NEET is not just one of the exam that you can just think. Plenty of other examinations also are there. If you are thoroughly preparing for NEET, that preparation would help you to write other kind of examinations as a backup, as a plan B option.
Thank you, sir. I think our next question is, why is NEET important for PCB students, or is NEET just the only important thing that a PCB student should concentrate on?
I think partly I answered just before this question. So,
yes.
Why NEET exam is very important? Especially if children have a passion of becoming a doctor. right? So it is very important to take up this NEET exam preparation as part of their 11th and 12th. So if children have a goal of becoming doctor, if they are very passionate in serving in the medical field, so I think those children definitely should take up this exam as a priority basis and prepare accordingly in their 11th and 12th. And however, if children cannot crack this exam, let me say, unlikely case, there are a good number of children who also think of pursuing NEET preparation as a long term. That's where there are a lot of institutes offer NEET long term coaching. At Rockwoods, we also offer NEET long term coaching, and NEET long term coaching typically children will have undivided attention over a period of close to 10 to 11 months, thoroughly focusing on these three subjects that I have mentioned: physics, chemistry, and biology. Again, biology is divided into botany and zoology. So all these subjects, children thoroughly prepare and attend daily practice tests, attend weekend tests, in the pattern of NEET examination, and with 12 to 13, 14 hours of effort every day, children will be assured of guaranteed success in the NEET exam. Otherwise, also they can have a plan B option of CUET and MSET kind of examination. But at Rockwoods, with NEET long term, we guarantee the seat and success in the NEET kind of tough examination.
Thank you, sir. Our next question is, are PCMB students eligible to write NEET?
Oh, definitely. I mean, as long as children have biology, physics, and chemistry as part of their 11th and 12th, can attend this exam. And fourth and fifth subjects can be any subjects. It might be English, it might be mathematics, it might be physical education, it might be Sanskrit. Anybody who have these three subjects, and fourth or fifth subject would have been any other subjects. So it would be completely all right for them to take up this exam and have a good crack at NEET exam.
So the process of
PCMB students can definitely take up.
So the process is same. It's no different from just a PCB student.
No, it's nothing is different.
Okay. I think we have a specific situation question right here. I am a X. So after graduation from MBBS, will I become Dr. X? Like, will I get my doctorate of doing 5 years of MBBS, or do I need to do more specializations in order to get doctorate?
So after the undergraduation course, if it is MBBS, we are talking of close to 5.5 years, and if it is BDS, BHMS, Ayush, slightly the time would come down. Right after that course, if children have passed all the examinations and last year, if they have completed, they are all set. They are going to be called as the doctors. They are going to have degrees, and they are eligible, to practice and treat patients. However, it is very important to procure, to pursue specialization after their undergraduation, right? So specialization like gynecology or pediatric or cardiology or dermatology or orthopedic, lot more. I mean, a lot of post-graduation courses are available. And in fact, there are also super specialty, courses, especially cardiology is a super specialty. So if they pursue, oncology is a super specialty. So if they pursue further post-graduation and super specialty, obviously the kind of knowledge and deep understanding of patients diseases, and all that is going to be a lot better and deeper. And they are going to become very famous, mature, and very good doctors.
Thank you for the suggestion, sir. I hope that all students and parents got an idea of what you're saying and what is best for them. With that being said, with the going controversy with NEET, and there is a talk going that NEET might get cancelled altogether, could you just please address this situation and what is the possible outcomes about this?
All right. I think there are some parents and students are asking about, what is going to happen NEET 2024. And the matter is there in the court, but court has very clearly told, or at least given little direction in terms of, that they might not be cancelling NEET 2024. So, and they also have directed NTA, especially, some gaps that have happened where in terms of addition of grace marks, because those children are not given the right amount of time in the exam center. So they have directed NTA. NTA said, they might reconsider conducting for one exam center re-exam and give the result before end of June. So they might look at some standardization, rationalization, and award the ranks and marks to those set of children. In principle, I think we are looking at a situation where they might not cancel, NEET 2024 exam, given the repercussions that are there. However, the court decisions are going to be final. But as students, what you should think of is, I would say, don't focus on all such kind of news. So if you got good score, and be peaceful, and start getting geared up for your counseling. And in case if you have not got the good score, and if you may not get the seat, don't worry about it. And if still a passion of becoming doctor, then start pursuing long-term institutes, and start visiting institute which are offering NEET long-term coachings, and start preparing for NEET from now, so that in NEET 2025 you will see good success. And you losing out a year may not be an issue if you prepare really very well this entire year and perform very well in the NEET 2025, get into prestigious colleges of medical field, and go on to pursue your MBBS or any other degree, so that you can achieve what you want. Paying attention on the controversies, it might take out your valuable time, and outcome is something which you will not be able to control. You will not be able to decide. So what you can do is something you focus on, so that you can make best use of your time for your benefit and your career success.
Thank you, sir. We totally agree on what you just said. Yes, and that being said, we are done with our first segment. Thank you, sir. Thank you for answering the questions that our audience had. And for this next segment, I would like to ask Ms. Divya Sharma to just please answer the questions. Welcome, Divya ma'am.
Thank you, Veda. It's my pleasure to answer your queries.
Okay, so this segment is kind of going to be about more on exam process. I would also want Divya ma'am to tell why I'm asking her these questions before she goes ahead and answer these questions. But let's start with the first question. Items to be carried for the examinations, and what type of pens that you recommend to answer these questions?
Yeah, that's a good question, Veda. But before I answer this, I would like to tell you, conducting NEET exam and following all the modalities of the exam is considered to be a very, very responsible task for any of the center that is being assigned. Why? Because the future of all these students, I mean, all the candidates who are going to become doctor is in our hands. So the best way, the best we conduct following all the rules and regulations, the smoother will be the exam and maximum discrepancies can be avoided. So now your question was what kind of material to be carried during the examination. It will be mentioned in their admit cards, but still I would like to answer this. Children should carry only a transparent pouch. They can carry only the blue ballpoint pen or royal blue ballpoint pen, or they can also carry black ballpoint pen. Under any circumstances, they cannot carry any other things. Yeah, for their identity card also, they need to carry whether it can be Aadhaar card or driving license, only to check whether the identity is established or not. But we have come across certain candidates who usually forget or don't bring their identity card and all. Then there will be another procedure wherein the attendance sheet of a particular candidate with the details and photograph will be with the center superintendent, the one who is conducting exam. So the center superintendent can cross-check and identify whether the person is genuine or not by seeing the attendance sheet. And further, there will be 2 or 3 other checks which I cannot reveal since it is a confidential process. But yes, to a large extent, in case we recommend that compulsory follow the protocols of the exam, and they are supposed to carry their ID card, which should be original, not a photocopy. And in case they forget, then purely it will be at the discretion of the center, and the center superintendent will be coordinating with city coordinator, and then they are going to decide whether a particular candidate to be allowed or not. But during all these discrepancies, what happens, a child who is prepared to give their best in the exam get disturbed. So we request all the candidates that they have to carry and follow all the rules and regulations. They should carefully go through their admit card and study the rules properly to avoid such kind of conditions.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for a really detailed answer. And is there any dress code for the students attending NEET?
Dress code in the sense, Veda, see, they are supposed to wear a formal dress, but they should, but especially boys, they should avoid, I mean, wearing this 6-pocket jeans, or what do we call, I don't know, a multi-pocket trousers and shirts. And then they are also not expected to carry, I mean, to wear shoes and socks. They should definitely wear sandals or the footwear which can be opened easily, because there will be a process called frisking. Frisking will be separate for females and males, and the concerned security officials, while frisking, will ensure that they will be following all the protocols that is stated in the exam norms. So therefore, avoid wearing the dress that has more number of pockets. Try to be as simple as you can, and try to wear sandals or chappals. And in case if a candidate appears to exam center with shoes and socks, definitely the frisking team will allow him to walk barefoot, leaving his shoes and socks at the entrance only. So it is better that they follow this.
Thank you, ma'am. Will they allow students to use restroom during the examination hours is our next question.
Okay. As per the norms of the examination, 28 candidates will be allocated per room. So a room will have 28 candidates followed by 2 invigilators. 24 candidates followed by 2 invigilators. So each invigilator will be observing 12 students in a room. So suppose if a child wish to use a restroom, or if a candidate wish to use restroom, then one of the invigilators must accompany the candidate to the restroom to avoid any kind of discrepancies that may happen in future. So it is mandatory disclosure for all the invigilators that if a candidate wishes to use the restroom, then compulsory they should be accompanied by one of the invigilators. They can use, no problem. But before start of exam, I mean before half an hour before exam, and the last half an hour, before half an hour, as soon as the exam starts. For example, if exam starts at 10:30, Then till 11 o'clock, they are not supposed to use restroom, and half an hour before the exam concludes, they are not supposed to use. In between, they can use.
Thank you, ma'am. I think we have an interesting question. That is, are exam centers decided randomly, or is there any criteria that the exam centers are assigned for students?
Exam center is not decided randomly. First, the city coordinator will identify how many students from Hyderabad or any place for that matter are appearing for NEET examination. Then they will allocate admit card numbers. I mean, roll numbers to all the candidates, those are appearing. Then they will send a request to the schools, which initially will start 3 months before the exam, 3 to 4 months before the exam. Then they will send request letters to the school stating that approve your school as a center. Then when the school approves, then they will decide on the capacity. We are supposed to fill a form online stating that how is our premises and whether we can allocate how many candidates and are the restroom, how many number of restrooms we have, and is the infrastructure conducive, and is there any facility of CC cameras and all. So once all this is fixed, then number of candidates will be allocated. So depending on the school's capacity, for example, if we take our school, we can easily accommodate 700 to 750 students. So 700 or 750 students can be allocated to our centers, whereas some of the centers can allocate can provide only 300 students or 400, then 400 will be accommodated. So it depends on number of candidates appearing in the exam. It also depends on the school, how many schools have approved. Then the next is capacity of the school. So based on that only, these admit cards numbers will be allotted and centers will be allotted.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for answering the second segment of this webinar. Thank you for all the information that you have given us. I hope we answered many students' doubt, and I'm sure these questions are from students, because I think this question is something we have never thought of or never asked in any of our webinars. Well, coming to the third part of webinar, which will be answered by me, right? So I just have a couple of questions that I will be answering. Is NEET required for students who want to study abroad? For this, I would say yes, because I think usually I do talk about a lot of criteria that a foreign university requires for a student, applicant, right? There are a lot of things that a student need to submit, and one of it being the exams that a student has written over the years. So I would say writing a NEET is a better option, because that will set you apart from a lot of students. And according to your score, if you actually scored pretty good, that is also advantageous for you to get into a good university. So yeah, I would recommend students to just write this exam, and just also take it seriously. Just because you have an option 2 doesn't mean that you're just gonna not prepare for NEET. Just give your best, and it also helps. I do recommend students to write NEET. The second question that we have is, while preparing or after completing NEET, can you apply for universities abroad? If yes, then how can you start the application process? For this, I would say yes, you can. So generally for the universities abroad, I would say, especially if we talk about US, there are 3 intakes that a university takes students in: one, summer, fall, and winter. So I think for most of the students in this situation, as they said that they will, they would probably go to US after writing the NEET. So I would suggest that a fall intake is way comfortable and better for students going, because generally spring intake is in January. You will probably have your boards and other exams, so student can't apply in the January. Summer is around May, so I still know that students are going to be busy with the other exams and all the process. So the best option is a fall intake. So you can just go in September. Some of the colleges also have an intake in August. So yeah, I suggest fall intake is best. And starting about application, say you have to start earlier as possible. 11th grade starting your application 11th grade is amazing. And if you have any more doubts about application, I suggest you go on our other webinars that we have there. We have more information on that. So yes, these are all the questions that we have received today. And we just had a different segments and a different questions. I would like to thank all the students giving these questions to us, because I think, as everyone can notice, these questions are a bit different from what we usually do. And they're out of a bit box. I don't think we've thought of some of the questions that a student would think like. So yes, as that being said, today's webinar is at the end. Thank you for joining us on today's webinar. We will meet you in the next webinar with another interesting topic. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.